grind, to the hustle, the pursuit of wealth. Every story, every journey, every climb from the shelf. Here's to the drive, to the fight, to pursuit of wealth.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pursuit of Wealth podcast. We are here with Mr. Jace Wright, looking curly and cute.
Oh, gosh.
Your hair does look curly today.
It is, yeah.
It looks like you just got out of the shower.
It looks that way when I actually put product and stuff in it. So
Look, you took care of yourself this morning.
all right, let's not get into ourselves.
Just kidding. But, dude, I'm pumped to be back. I've actually been gone for about a week. We had back-to-back real estate conferences last week. Ton of fun. Learned a lot, made some great connections, and now I'm just juiced to be back.
So you can leave for Hawaii.
Yes.
Got
so
it.
I'm back for a day and a half, and then I leave to Hawaii for another week, which is, and then I get back from Hawaii, and then I'm here for 3 days, and I leave to Arizona for another conference.
You're a psycho.
I am a psycho,
Yeah.
but it's fun. It's a life I've chose. This life didn't choose me. I chose it.
There you go.
That's the mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I respect that mentality.
That's actually the longest I've been away from my kids, and I really miss them.
Oh, yeah.
I was shocked. I'm not shocked. I was shocked I missed my kids. No, I was, I guess I've been away longer. We went on our team retreat. That's a week. So, but this is the longest I've been away for work and not been with them. Again, a lot of respect for my buddies that do summer sales that are gone for like 3 months.
Brutal.
When their kids are still young. I'm like, dude, that would be so hard. I mean, I would FaceTime them every night. And anyway, it was fun. Went to St. George for the first, I'll kind of do a little recap. For the first retreat, we were in St. George. It was my buddy Chandler Smith that put on his real estate retreat. It was more of an investor retreat. So there's 40 real estate investors from all over the country. Some from California, Boston, Florida, like really Tennessee, like everywhere. It was really cool to see the different strategies that these guys are using in different markets. And that's why I love going to these things. Networking with people, seeing how other people are investing, how are they building their portfolio. There's guys that had, a handful of units to guys that had 40 to 80 units or 100 plus. And there's a lot of guys that were investing in Ohio. And that was it. And I've kind of heard about that. The returns they get in Ohio are insane. Some of these guys are getting 15 to 20% cash on cash returns. The caveat is there's like zero appreciation. So it's a really flat market. So you're not banking on appreciation. You're just getting your cash on cash return. The other thing is a lot of it is Section 8 housing. So the return is good, but your CapEx, when you turn a unit, which your CapEx is just like your capital expenditures, like when you need to rehab a unit once you try to, your tenant leaves and you got to go fill it again, is going to be usually higher because they're just not taking as good a care on it of the property. But like, dude, these guys are buying like a fourplex for $250,000 or $300,000. Like, it's just insane.
It's wild.
But vacancy too, like a lot of them said, if you don't have a tenant already in it, like you're buying a property that's been rehabbed and ready for renters, but it's not filled yet. Sometimes it takes a few months to fill. And so your vacancy rate's a little bit higher. So all that stuff you need to, calculate in when you're making you're adjusting your return. And so it was cool. It was a fun experience. Learned a lot from people doing different things. It was actually really interesting because some of the conversations I had with people that are at a pretty high level, that are just actively, they're taking action in their business. This one guy from Florida, he had like 40 units, and we were talking and I was like, dude, what's the return you're getting on your portfolio and stuff? And he's like, well, really, it's like, I don't have any money in the deal. I was like, cause I asked him, I was like, what is your cash on cash return? And he's like, well, I don't have any money in the deal. Well, I'm like, but you do have money in the deal. Like, it's not 100% financed, right? On an investment property, you have at least 20% in the deal. And his thought process was, I'm buying these properties and I'm flipping them. And then it's called the BRRRR method: buy, rehab, renovate, or buy, rehab, refinance, and rent. So he buys it, he rehabs it, he refinances it out of hard money, and then he rents it out. With that process, he's like, I don't have any of my personal capital into the deal. Like, I bought it, I rehabbed it, I refinanced it, and I got all my money back out, and now I'm renting it. And I'm like, yeah, but you still left money in the deal. Like, the equity in the deal, even though it's equity, it's not your cash that you brought to the deal. You created that value by rehabbing it, So that equity is in the deal still. You should be looking at a cash on cash return for that equity. And it was like a light bulb for him because he's like, I didn't really think, like, it's not my money. I'm like, it is your money. That is your money that you created. Because if you sold the property, you would get that money.
Right.
And I think a lot of investors forget that. Like, every year that you choose not to sell a property, you're choosing to buy it at today's rates. And so when we did the math for him, dude, it was a big property. He left $400,000 into the deal because he bought it, rehabbed it for like, and then he was all into it at 900, and then he refinanced it at like, it was worth 1.3. So I'm like, dude, you have $400,000. What is? He's like, well, I'm making $2,000 a month on it, cash flow. I'm like, $2,000 a month on 400,000 is not a good return. Like that. I mean, it's 6%, but you could go, if you sold the property and 1031 into another property, like you took that $400,000, you went and got a bigger asset because you can put 20% down on a bigger asset, and you got a 10% cash on cash return. Now you're getting a better return on that money that you have. You're getting depreciation and principal pay down on a larger asset because you're able to leverage a little bit more on a loan on a larger building. Over time, your return is going to be so much greater. But a lot of investors they get so focused on like door count, like units. Like, I have so many units. Like, this guy had 40 units. And like this concept
the new
of
flex.
Yeah, it is the new flex. And that was kind of like, I've realized going to these conferences, I could care less about how many units you have. All I care about is, what do you cash flow?
Right.
What do you actually make monthly? Because that's what is cool. That's what changes your life. That's what gives you the ability to go buy nice things and do fun activities. I could care less how many units you have. Like, I've talked to guys that have 20 units and they make less than me when I had like 4 units. And it's like, dude, who cares if you have 20 units? Your cash flow's garbage. Like, and so I've really changed my mindset to, all I care about is cash flow.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna allow you to live the life that you want now. Because if you have things that are bringing you in cash flow while you sleep or while you're doing whatever, you can now use that cash flow because it's going to repeat every single month. You can go spend the cash flow. It's like, go spend. If you're making $5-10 grand a month in cash flow, like, go spend that. And then your active income, you should be dumping into properties to create more cash flow so that you can get your freedom at some point. That's like, well, this whole podcast is about getting your freedom back. So it's just interesting to talk to people that like still don't understand some of these concepts, but are doing things at a pretty high level. Like, I was actually I was confused. It's like, how did you get here without kind of understanding some of these basic concepts?
Something I've always appreciated about you as I've gotten to know you is you love to surround yourself with people that are doing things that you want to be doing or that you're currently doing, so that in rooms like that, you're providing value to people that might want to be doing what you're doing, but you're also getting value from those that you look up to and respect. We even had this in the team meeting this morning. It was a quote that just basically said your life can change based on who you surround yourself with. And so I've always respected that with you. I've seen it in my life as I've gotten to change my surroundings over the past 5 years as well. So for the listeners, it's an important concept.
Oh.
If you want to change the trajectory of your life, financially, relationship-wise, like everything, you are who you surround yourself with.
100%.
Period.
Your environment has such a massive impact.
Huge. More than you think.
Way more than you think. Because, I mean, it's one thing to have willpower. Like, willpower is, despite what's going on around me, like, if my friends are drinking, I'm going to have the willpower to not drink, even though like my environment is encouraging these behaviors. You have to have strong willpower to go against that. Well, if you just switch your environment, you really don't have to have a strong willpower.
Right.
If you just change your environment and nobody around you is drinking, like, it's taboo to drink. Like, we don't drink. We go to the gym and we work out and we work on our business. You don't have to have strong willpower to not do those things because like your environment is just not encouraging them. And so, but when you're in an environment that is encouraging things that you don't want to participate in, you have to have really strong willpower, and willpower burns out after a while. Like, you can have strong willpower for a week or 2 weeks, but after a month or a year where you're in an environment where like you're constantly fighting against the environment to be different, it is really hard to do that over a long period of time.
Right.
And so that's where it's like, dude, if you want to change your life, then the fastest and easiest way to do it is change your environment. and it's sometimes it's hard because to get into the environment you want to be in, like maybe you're just not at that, you're not in that environment. How do I say this? You're not to the level of the people that are in that environment. So it's hard to kind of get in. It's kind of hard to break into it.
And that's a perfect example. I'm not there yet to go to this retreat that you just went to.
Yeah.
Like I would not consider myself, even if I did pay the money to be there, I would feel inadequate being there because I'm just not ready for that level of investing and stuff like that. So you can set goals for yourself. Like it'd be cool to eventually be in a group like that and to add value to that group versus just kind of being, hey, I'm just here. I've never invested before in my life, but I got the status of being at this retreat, right?
Yeah.
And so like set goals for yourself to get into those environments because they're not impossible, but start incrementally. Like it's literally who you have barbecues with on the weekends.
100%.
It's who you go to the gym with. It's who you hang out with or play video games with on nights. It's who you watch sports with. Like analyze your life on a day by day, week by week basis and look at who you are surrounding yourself with. And you'll recognize really fast that you are the same people.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I love that. A barbecue, your hobbies, look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with and all these kind of different ways that you're spending your time. Mm-hmm. And is there anybody in those groups that you want to be like, or that you aspire to be like, or that's doing the things that you want to be doing? If the answer is no, you need to, as hard as it is, you need to really look at your friend group and the people that you're around and decide, do you need to change? Mm-hmm. And the hard part is like, sometimes you do outgrow people. And I look back to, I look back to when I got married. All my groomsmen were like, my high school best friends, people I went to, high school with. And no, I don't talk to like any of them now, which is sad. Like I look back at that and I'm like, man, am I just a bad person? Like I don't talk to any of these friends that I had in high school and in junior high anymore. But ultimately, like we just took different paths, mm-hmm. and they're still doing things that I don't do. Like they're living different lives, and that's okay. Like one of them called me the other day. Of course, I'm going to still have conversations with him. He's making some changes and wants to get it more into business and stuff. And he was kind of picking my brain. Awesome, dude. I love that. Like I'm going to be a resource for you and help you wherever you can. But my time right now, like I'm still wanting to get to this next level. And so I'm spending a lot of time trying to get around people that are even higher than I am to help bring me up to that level. And I'm still going to spend time with people that are lower than me. And it sounds bad when you say it that way, but people that are like maybe not as far along in their journey, mm-hmm. and try to help bring them up to where I am. So it's like, there's that rule of thirds, like spend a third of your time with people that you can bring up to where you're at. Spend a third of the time with people that are in a similar situation that are trying to get to the same place that you're trying to get to. And then spend a third of your time with people that are already up there that can help bring you up.
Right.
And it's like, if you focus your time on that, I mean, your life is you're going to feel the gratitude of where you're at because you're helping people get to where you're at. And then you're also going to feel the excitement and the growth to try to keep pushing because you're interacting with people that are farther ahead than you. Like every time I get around my buddy Chandler, I just feel poor.
Right.
That's bad. I feel poor, but it encourages me. Like I left my jacket in his truck. So I stopped by his house yesterday and I pull into his house and I'm like, dude, this freaking house is amazing. It's massive, has an indoor pool, and he just built this huge shop. He's got a brand new Porsche. He just bought another brand new Porsche in the driveway. And just, like, it was funny. We actually went to pick up my truck the other night and Soph was in the car, mm-hmm. and she's like, we pull up and I get out of the car to get in the truck, and Bree tells me this after the fact, but Soph goes, Mommy, whose house is that? And Bree goes, oh, that's Daddy's friend Chandler's house. She goes, that's a pretty house. Like, she's like, yeah, it's really pretty. She's like, there's a pool inside. And Soph lost it. Like, what?
Yeah.
Dad, can we go swim at your friend's house? Like, she's just like dead set. So I told Chandler, I'm like, hey, dude, we got to come swim at some point because my daughter's set on swimming now. But it's every time you go around those people, like it pushes me to be like, dude, I can do more, and I want to do more. And not necessarily that I'm like, I want all these things, but it's cool to see everything that he's built and the freedom that he's created for himself and his family. And like, I want to shoot for that now.
Right.
So it shows you that it's possible when you have a conversation with somebody like that, and you learn his story and how he got started and what he focused on and his principles on investing. And when you pick his brain, like, okay, this is doable. I actually set one of my coaches just the other week had me fill out a wealth plan. And I encourage anybody that's on this journey to fill out a wealth plan. And essentially what this is it's a goal that feels really big. So for me, it was, I'll share mine. The coach encourages you to do like something really big. So I did 50 million. Like if I want to get to a net worth of 50 million, what would I have to do? And you can give yourself, 20, 30 years. It's not like you're to hit these big goals. You're not going to do it in 2 to 5 years.
Right.
So, I give myself 30 years. Okay. So it's like in 30 years, I want to hit 50 million. That would put me at 60. I'd be 60. Okay. It's like, what would have to occur? For me, I chose like, what vehicle would you want to be investing in? For me, I chose real estate. And so I said, okay, if I invest in real estate, and let's say real estate on average is going to appreciate at 6%. I think that's reasonable. Some years are going to be higher, some years are lower, but let's just say on average over the next 30 years, you're going to get 6%. I think historically it's more, but 6%. Okay, how much down, like to buy properties, how much of a down payment would I need? And so how much would I need to be investing into real estate each year to buy the enough properties that would get me to that net worth at year 30? And it was actually interesting because it breaking it out over that time period, because giving it a 30-year time period, anything that I leveraged debt-wise would be paid off year 30. So then it is a numbers game. Like I just need to own 50 million in real estate. And obviously I need to buy more of it at the beginning for it to be paid off at the end.
Right.
But even if I set like, okay, I'm going to reinvest a lot of my cash flow into paying these down earlier so that I can have properties paid off in 20 years instead of 30 years. It was like I needed to buy $700,000 to $1 million worth of real estate each year, which means if I'm putting 20% down, I need to invest about $150,000 to $200,000 in real estate each year. Okay, now this is like that's like, our average price point being 350 to 400. It's like I need to buy like 2 properties a year. Mm-hmm. If I just buy 2 properties a year that total about $700 to $1 million worth of value, and I put renters in it, and I'm getting a decent cash on cash return. I'm getting them to pay, principal pay down. I'm getting them to pay down my mortgage. It's like over 30 years, it's just math. It's going to happen. Like you're at your goal. And I never like sat down to really think about that. Like think about a big goal. Mm-hmm. It's like we say like, oh, I want to be worth 10, 20, 30 million. But like to actually, okay, well, what would have to be true and how could I actually get there? When you lay it out, it's like, dude, it's actually not that hard. Like it's something I feel like I could do. And I think the same thing with investing. The key with this is like the sooner I start, the faster I'm going to get there. If I would have started when I was 20, I wouldn't have had to buy as much in real estate. Now I've got to buy a little bit more.
Right.
Because now I don't have as much time.
Time's going against you.
Yes. Time's I've already lost 10 years. But it's the same thing with like, I saw something about just investing in the stock market. Like if you wanted to be a millionaire at 65, and if you start at 60 versus 50 versus 40 versus 30 versus 20, and the cost is obviously at 60, you only have 5 years. So it was like, you need to invest like $13,000 a month to be able to hit $1 million net worth by 65. At 50, it goes down. The key difference was like at 30, if you start at 30, you only have to invest like $400 a month. So from 30 to 60, it was like, $13,000 a month to, if you just start at 30, you only have to do $400 a month. Could you do $400 a month? If you start at 20, it's $190 a month. Mm. It just shows you the compounding effect that if you're just consistent and you're consistent starting early on, that is going to grow and compound so fast. Like, and it's just numbers. Like it's not hard. This isn't a what if or could be. It's like, no, it's like almost guaranteed. It's just math. Like if you did $190 a month and the stock market continues to perform at how it's performed, you'd have $1 million at 65. Now, I go back and forth with that because we've talked about this before. I'm not huge on retirement accounts. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be wealthy at 65. I want to be wealthy sooner. And one thing I actually picked up from this conference, from both conferences that I went to, was the people that are achieving things at a high level focus. They are just really good at whatever they're doing, like that one thing that they're doing. Like this one guy was investing in Ohio. He raises outside capital. He flips properties and then burrs them, essentially holds them and rents them out. He had 80 properties, and that's like all he does. He doesn't have retirement accounts. He doesn't have a 401k and a Roth IRA. And right after, and similar with Chandler, my buddy Chandler, he doesn't have any retirement accounts. He just went all in on real estate. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have a retirement account. If you want to play the retirement account game, awesome. And go all in on that and figure out your strategy to get to the net worth goal that you want to get to within that game. But my thing is like, it's really hard to play all the games and be good at any of them. And so that was kind of one thing I really took away is like focus, figure out your strategy to get you to the goal that you want and like just play that game. So now I'm like dead set. I'm like, I'm just going to play the real estate game. Like I'm just like, if I could actually achieve this $50 million net worth in 30 years, like why would I not just chase that and just focus my energy and time here? And I know it and I understand it. And after I went to Chandler's retreat, we went to a flipping workshop in Ohio. And a little bit of backstory on this guy, he's pretty big on Instagram. He runs like a flipping business, a wholesaling business, and then like kind of an obviously like real estate education business. And the guy's a stud. He's worth probably, I think he's got a real estate portfolio that's like $25 million. And it's funny because we're at his workshop and he brought in somebody to talk about like Roth IRAs and really kind of just raising money from people's Roth IRAs. But in that, she was like pushing, like, if you don't have a Roth IRA, like you're an idiot. You know, it's the best tax advantaged retirement account, which it is 100%. And I've heard people talk about Roth IRAs and I know I needed to get one for like the last 5 years. I just haven't done it. And I went up to him and I'm like, I went up to, his name's Tommy, and I was like, dude, be straight with me. Do you have retirement accounts? 401k, Roth IRA, all that? He's like, I don't. And he's like, I should. But it just reaffirmed like, yes, that is an avenue to go. But again, he's built what he's built and he's doing what he's doing at such a high level. He just focused on doing that. Like, yes, you could put $7,000 a year away in a Roth IRA and have that compound over time. And yes, you can take it out and it's going to be tax-free. But do you need to play that game if you're playing this game at such a high level? And so that was, I put a lot of pressure on myself because we do, like I have dabbled. We have simple IRAs, me and Bree, that I contribute to. I just contributed again. It's tax season, April 15th. You got to get your contribution in before then. So I just wrote a check to my freaking simple IRA again. And I don't even feel good about writing that check again because I'm like, dude, yes, I have that thing growing and it's going to be retirement accounts for us. But is that really like that amount of money that I just put into my simple IRA?
Going to give you as big of a return as if you tried to invest it.
Correct.
And is quick because you won't see that for
correct
years.
I can't touch. I mean, you can withdraw what you've put in, but there's, the tax with that. But it's like, yeah, is it the best return on my money? Because I have such a advantage in the real estate market, getting returns at a high level because that's what I know.
Right.
So now I was like, dude. So again, I'm just like, do I need to focus? Do I need to just stop doing that? And usually it's for tax savings, but I had cost segregated enough real estate this year that I wasn't going to have a tax bill anyway. So I really didn't need to do the contribution. I just did it because like, well, it's what I've done for the last 3 years. And that's like,
you do.
Yeah. My father-in-law is a financial advisor and this feels like what I should do. I should be contributing to our retirement accounts. And now I'm like, dude, I need to rethink some of my strategy because it's probably not the highest ROI. Like we've gotten decent returns in the stock market worth where he's put. I let my father-in-law invest our simple IRAs. And with where he's done it, like we've done good. We've got like a 14, 15% return in the last few years, which is awesome. But dude, I'm able to get like astronomical returns when I can invest that capital into flipping a property, pulling my money out, cash flowing it. And then I have an asset that's worth a few $100,000. Like my return can be crazy good. And so
let me throw this at you and you tell me what your thoughts are. Because I'm kind of in both. Like I agree with you as far as like I think that retirement accounts aren't bad.
Yeah.
In theory, like let's say that there's someone with a hypothetical situation where they've got $15,000 extra dollars.
Yep.
That's the only money that they have to invest. We're probably not going to say throw that in a Roth IRA because you can have a quicker return and be able to get more money to reinvest faster if you were to do something else.
Yeah.
What I would propose is that a Roth IRA or a retirement account in general, when you're in the investing world or in entrepreneur and different things like that, should be when you have a little bit of excess money. Like in your situation, 100%. You're trying to save on taxes and you can do that because that's where the real benefit comes in is you're just not going to see that money for an extended period of time. But when you are 65, you're going to be glad you did that.
Yeah.
You know,
you're never going to be like, I shouldn't have been like, yeah, you're going to have the nest egg and you're going to be glad you did.
Yeah. So it doesn't hurt you. You're not going to miss that money necessarily. Yes, you're looking at it right now because you just wrote the check, but I would venture to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, in a year from now, or I guess not in a year because you're going to be writing the check again. Let's say in 6 months from now, you're not going to really be thinking about that check.
100%.
You're going to be focused on everything else you're doing and all the returns you're getting on the investments that you're doing.
Correct.
But if it was the only investment that you had, you would be checking on that or curious what it was returning monthly. And then you'd be depressed because it's not getting you a significant amount. So contribute to the retirement stuff if you're an entrepreneur and everything, but focus on the short-term gains that you can get and the compounding things that you can do with investing into the strategy that you choose. For us, it's real estate.
Yeah.
But pick your strategy, focus on that. Then when you start getting excess, throw it into a retirement account.
Yes. You hit the nail on the head. It's every year I don't like writing the check, but then I forget about it. Like literally in like a week, I'll forget about it and that money's just going to grow. And honestly, that's why like part of me has been okay with it because I'm like, it is kind of just like it's like a hedge. Yep. It's like, yes, knock on wood, I've done really good investing in real estate and that's what I know. God forbid I start taking some losses there. It's like, well, I've been contributing to this as well for the last few years and now I've got a little nest egg there that I could do. So when it's money that you can just put away and forget about, that is what needs to go in a retirement account. What I struggle with sometimes is the opportunity cost. Mm-hmm. It is, what is that money actually worth to me now if I could use it to grow my businesses or flip more houses or like what could I use it for and what is that opportunity cost? That's kind of what I struggle with. But the key thing, like if you only have $15,000, the biggest thing you need to ask yourself is, one, am I making a decent enough income? If not, I need to look at like don't think passively, don't think retirement accounts, think about getting your active income up. How do I make more money on a monthly basis? Like that should be your sole focus. And then when you have the excess funds, yes, put it into a retirement account or decide to do whatever you want to do with it. But I think a lot of people get caught up in I'm going to hit this too, because this is important. It is great if you are not responsible enough to have that money in your account, get it into a retirement account. Because that is the other factor is, well, yeah, you're right. These guys are right. We shouldn't just, I want my money faster and I don't want to tie it up in a retirement account, but then they go spend it on a new car.
I would rather you miss it because it's in an investment than miss it because you spent it on bullshit.
Correct. That is the caveat. If you know yourself, you're like, I don't have the self-control to have this money, have access to it and not spend it, then absolutely put it in a retirement account. Like it just creates the friction that you can't really get it.
Right.
And then just focus on going to make more money. That's why that system works for a lot of people, because it is just like a forced savings account. You have to put it away and then you're going to get penalized if you try to withdraw it. So it's like, if you need that, absolutely utilize those tools and like do that. But if you're responsible enough to save the money and utilize it on better investments, like you should look at how you can utilize it to either increase your monthly income or have it give you a better cash on cash return, or have it like give you some cash flow that you can utilize or reinvest into growing that nest egg. What I think people don't understand, like this is one thing. I had a client, I was literally showing this client a house, and I've shown this client lots of houses, but I was showing him this house this weekend and he's renting right now. And his argument to me was, he said this after the showing. He's like, dude, what so what is like, our house is just going to keep going up forever?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Like, yeah. And he knew that, like, he said it like this, but he's like, cause that's what it's, I mean, I guess that's what it's been like the last 100 years. I'm like, yes. Yeah. House prices are going to continue to go up. Asset values are going to continue to go up. And he's like, if that's the case, like, I'm just, I need to make more money, or I'm just never going to own anything. And
or you buy the $460,000 house and get in early.
This is this is the caveat. The problem is he's looking at houses that are like, on a bunch of land, and they're kind of like his forever home. And I'm like, dude, you just need to get in the game. You just need to own an asset, because yes, if prices continue to go up, your asset value is going to continue to go up. So then you have some chips that you can now utilize in 2 to 3 years and say, okay, home prices have gone up, but my asset now that I can sell has gone up. So I can sell that, take the cash that I've earned off of that, or the equity that I've earned, and put it down on a bigger house. I can upgrade. But the problem is like, people try to they want the end product, like the forever home. So they're just like, well, I'm just going to keep saving money. The problem is when you're saving money and the dollar is getting devalued and asset prices are going up, you're trying to swim up a current. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, you're saving money, but are you saving money faster than it's getting deflated? Like, if you're going to save capital, it needs to be in an investment that's going to outpace inflation so that you're not losing money. Because it's like, hey, I'm saving 20% of my income, but I'm like, well, you're also losing 3 to 4% every year to inflation. So you're not saving 20, you're really only saving, 15. Understanding that, it's like, put your money into an asset, buy the house that's a starter home, that's maybe not on the land that you want, maybe not quite in the area that you want to be in long term, but like you're okay living there for 3 to 5 years, and just get in the game. He's like, well, I struggle, with my monthly payment. Why I should just keep renting and paying my $1,800 a month rent. Like, it's cheaper. I struggle to go buy an asset that I don't really like and have a higher monthly payment. And I'm like, dude, the problem is you're looking at this to be an investment, and your primary residence is not an investment while you live there. Now, I want to protect this statement, because I think buying your first home or buying a primary residence can lead into a great investment, because you're getting into the property with a lower down payment than you could on an investment property. But that asset doesn't become that property doesn't become an asset until you've turned it into a rental. Because while you are living there as a primary residence, like, you are paying interest on it. And it's not bringing you any money. You are just expensing money. And that is the definition of a liability. Once you turn it to a rental, like we did with our first home, like we lived there for 4 or 5 years, then we turned it into a rental. Now it's a great rental, and it is a true asset, because now it is paying us monthly cash flow, and the renter is paying down all the interest and also making us principal payments. And so then it is an asset. But I told him, I was like, when you're buying your primary residence, don't look at it as like an investment right away. Look at it as, this is a purchase for my family, and it's going to give us stability. Because I told him, I said, yeah, your rent's cheaper now, but what is your rent going to be in 10 years?
And compare that to what the mortgage will be on top of that. Because this is the important lesson, I think, here. If I was to put it in a nutshell, if you're looking at an investment or even looking for your first primary residence, it is never going to be comfortable, ever.
Yeah.
And most people are searching and waiting for it to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's why they never do it.
They're waiting to be forced to do it.
Correct.
They're waiting to like, oh, well, rent is the same price as my mortgage, so I might as well just buy.
It's never going to be like that. Rarely.
It's happened a few times,
yes.
But it's so rare.
Super rare. I know people, this couple in particular, they've been renting for 15 years.
Ugh.
The same property for 15 years. Granted, their monthly payment's $800 a month on this property. So it's good.
Whoever owns that property is probably an idiot.
Yeah, for sure. It's a diamond in the rough, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But my point is over the course of that 15 years, they have wanted to buy, but have just never done it. And even now, they still want to buy, but it's gotten worse. It's gotten more expensive. To your guys' point, things are going to go up. And so, we're on the Wealth podcast here. Investing is never going to be comfortable.
No.
It's you're going to have to feel the discomfort at some point. And so our whole thing is do it responsibly, but do it sooner rather than later.
Yes. You'll be so glad you did. If those people had bought a house 15 years ago, their net worth would be probably 10x what it is right now.
Yes.
And it's like,
so their monthly payment was great.
yes.
Congrats. You saved on your monthly payment, but you lost out on net worth.
But, and here's the biggest argument for that is yes, you have if you're using that mentality is I'm going to rent because it is cheaper than if I was going to pay a mortgage. Understand that like your mortgage is you are paying down something that you own that you can then sell later on. If you're going to say I would rather rent because it's cheaper, you should still be budgeting for that as if you owned a property and investing the difference. That is the key thing. The problem with people is though they're like, well, it's cheaper to rent, so I'm just going to rent than buy, but I'm also not going to invest anything.
Yeah, they just spend the money on whatever.
Yeah, because they're like, I don't want to be house poor, so I'm going to rent. It's like, okay, well, if you're still going to spend all the money, 10 years from now, you're going to have nothing, and your rent is likely to go up versus when you have a mortgage, it's fixed. The only thing that goes up is your taxes and maybe insurance, but like your principal and interest is fixed. Like you're guaranteed that monthly payment for 30 years, despite what your rent, the market's going to go up. If you looked at rental rates 10 years ago to today, they've probably doubled, and they'll probably double again in the next 10 years, but your mortgage payment stays the same. So that's where it's fun is like 10 years from now, when your mortgage is still $2,300 a month, and $2,300 a month it's not that much because inflation has devalued the dollar, wages have gone up, everything else has gone up in value. So like $2,300 doesn't feel as bad. Like I remember when we bought our first house and I was like, dude, our monthly payment's going to be $1,400 a month. Like, oh, dude.
Now we're foaming at the mouth or something like that.
Like, dude, $1,400 a month, that's a lot of money. Now it's like, dude, $1,400, like that's nothing.
Right.
It's because inflation, it's because asset values have increased. Like now rents have increased. I rent that place out for $3,000 a month, and my mortgage is still $1,400 a month. That's insane.
That's wild.
5-10 years ago, I could not rent. I couldn't even rent that thing out for $1,400 a month, probably. So like, but the thing is like, people just don't get in the game. You've got to get in the game, because if you don't start playing, like you're never going to get ahead.
So I'm going to bring this around full circle.
Yeah.
Because this is cool. 2 key principles that I would like the listeners to take away from this is number 1, surround yourself with the environment of people who you want to be like. 2, responsibly jump in as soon as possible. But in addition to those 2 things, they coincide. It can be easier and you can feel a little more comfortable investing if you're surrounding by yourself with investors and with people that have the same goals. And so, we're getting ready to have our first get together with the podcast group.
Yes.
It gets me jacked for that. Because that's the goal, right? Is to surround yourself with people that have the same mind and the same goals, because then it gets easier. Take it from somebody who last year, not one investment in my portfolio whatsoever.
Yeah.
To now we're positive net worth, making an investment, bought a house. I credit that solely to who I surrounded myself with. It got easier. It was still uncomfortable, still is uncomfortable. It's never going to be comfortable, but it's easier because of who I surrounded myself with. So those are my 2 takeaways from today's pod. Very important lessons.
I love it, dude. And thank you for summarizing those 2 points, because I think it's so important. I can get carried away because I just love talking about this stuff. Right. But bringing back to like, here's 2 takeaways that you can take from this. The one thing with that is it's not all sunshine and rainbows either. So please note that. Yes, start investing as soon as possible and as responsible as you can, knowing that you are going to get kicked in the nuts at some point. That is just part of the process. Like if you buy that first rental property, tenants trash it, cash flow's not as good as you thought. Look at it as you're going to learn so much through that process. Not everything you hit's going to be a home run.
But because of who you surround yourself with, you can bounce that off of people and you get validated a little bit because they're like, yeah, I had this happen too, and here's what I did.
Yes.
If you're doing that alone, it's going to suck.
you're not going to invest anymore.
Yeah,
You're going to
you'll
get
be
kicked in the
done.
nuts and you're
You'll
going to
be
get done. But when you can, and that's why I like going to these retreats. It's like, dude, talking to these guys that are growing their business. It's like they went through all these little the struggles that we've gone through, and knowing that like they're 10 years into their journey, we're 2 years into our flipping wholesaling journey. We're on pace to probably surpass them. Like we're doing what they did 3 to 4 years ago. So they were 6 years into their journey and we're only 2. And so I'm like, man, I think we can really, it's just validating and also really rewarding to hear like they didn't have it all figured out either.
Right.
They got kicked in the nuts running their business. Same thing with investment. When you're talking to other investors around the country, you talk to the guys that are crushing in know-how. And then I talk to guys that are like, dude, I want to sell my properties. Like I got kicked in the nuts here with this tenant and this did this. And I'm just sick of it. You hear all that but that guy could look and see all his struggles, but then he talks to a guy over here that's crushing it. And it's like, okay, like I just had a bad luck on this one. It still works. The game still works. I just need what is this guy doing? How did he screen his tenants? Who's his property manager?
Right.
Can I get some helpful tips that are going to help me excel in this journey as well? But I say that because whether you're investing in the stock market, you're investing in anything, at some point you're going to get kicked in the nuts. Things are going to go down. It's going to be a struggle. You're going to feel like, man, why did I do this? Stay true to your plan. Continue to go forward because it will recover. The asset values will go up. The stock market will go up. I think we're approaching all-time highs again in the stock market. Like if you look at the trends over a long enough period of time, you're going to win. You just got to stay consistent. And the easiest way to stay consistent is being in an environment where that is the norm. Investing is the norm. Staying consistent and following the plan is the norm. And like you said, I'm beyond jacked to get to our first get together with this group of people. And even talking to these guys at this event, I mean, guys that paid good money to come around and put themselves in this environment to be surrounded by other like-minded individuals, talking to those guys, they all wish like this community that we're building, they wish that there's something like that. I met guys from here in our local market that I've never met that are like, dude, it's just so nice to like, it's lonely. A lot of these guys are like, dude, I don't have this group of friends that I can rely on. I don't have this group of investors that I can invest with in my market. Like it is a lonely journey out there. And that's why I'm beyond jacked to do what we're doing because I think it's going to be so beneficial and it's freaking free.
Yeah.
Like that, like the cool part is like, we're not in this, we're not selling you a course. We're not trying to get you to spend all this money. Like we're just doing this because I think it is going to be valuable for everybody that's involved. And who knows if anything good anything financial comes of it. That's not the goal. The goal is like, this is going to be fun. Let's have some friends. Let's do stuff together. Let's create a good environment where people can connect and do life together. And I'm just excited to see what it turns into long term.
Yeah.
So that being said, like if you're listening and you're a part of that group, April 30th, first event. If you're not in that group and you submitted an application to be in that group, like please stick with us. Continue to listen to the podcast, continue to follow along with what we're doing. We're going to share what that group is doing, and there is going to be more opportunities in the future. So be patient with us. Don't get down on yourself or down on us for not getting into that initial group. We've talked about this before. We just needed this first group. We need to stay intimate. We need to make sure that it's beneficial for everybody. We need to see if it even works. We need to see if this concept, this idea that we have is even viable.
Right.
And if it is, we'll scale it up and we'll create more opportunities and environments for people to be a part of. So, don't get down on yourself and stick with us. I had so many people that reached out that have just started listening to the podcast. Mm-hmm. They're like, dude, I want to be part of that group. Like I've just been listening to the episodes now. And, so it's a bummer that, I wish we could take everybody, but stay tuned. We'll create more opportunities in the future. And our goal is like, dude, I just want to help as many people as we can.
Yeah.
Live a cool, fun life that they're proud of.
Yep.
And that gives them the freedom and flexibility that they're ultimately, hopefully searching for. So
I love it. Stay tuned.
Okay.
It's going to be freaking awesome.
Any last words you got? Anything you want to say?
Today was a good pod.
Okay.
Good lessons.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I leave to Hawaii tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get a pod in. I really don't want to miss a week. We've been so consistent with this. So we'll see what we can do. We'll figure a way out to get it done. So stay tuned. We'll catch you guys next week.
You can fly me and Kyle to Hawaii if you want. We can be consistent here.
Wow, that's a very good idea, Chase. Yeah, it's a financially responsible idea. Yes.
Super, yeah.
I've thought about like, could we do this over like a video? Like have you here, but I like call in. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Or I get back on the 30th. I think it's like I get back Wednesday or Thursday. We might have to film like Friday, Saturday, and then Kyle's gonna have to bust out a edit.
He's rolling his eyes right now.
He says, "Yeah, like he doesn't have enough on his plate."
The things he does for you guys.
Yeah.
Everybody give Kyle a round of applause.
Yeah,
we appreciate Kyle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's like a. That's not it. There it is.
Hey. Yeah.
Kyle. Kyle actually just got back. He was for anybody that's a Nick Bear fan. Kyle was at the G1M Go One More freaking backyard ultra, and his buddy from Idaho, right? Isaac's from Idaho. Literally, he placed 14th in that competition. Incredible. I was like glued to my phone for those 4 days. Like I'd go to bed, I'm like, they're still running. I'd wake up and they're still running. Like 3-4 days. It was insane. He ran like 131 miles. Absolutely insane. And Kyle was his like crew man, keeping him fed, keeping him going. They have to run 4.2 miles every hour on the hour. I think you fed him what, like 17,000 calories? He burned 17,000 calories. Freaking dialed, dude. It's awesome. Anyway, Kyle's a rock star. Okay, well, we'll wrap things up. If you guys have any questions, shoot us a DM. We'd love to stay connected with people in the audience. We've had really good feedback on these podcasts, so keep it coming. Give us more feedback. Give us ideas of what we could do better. And if there's any topics or things that you want us to cover specifically, give us a situation. You can stay anonymous. We'd love to talk about situations for people on the podcast too, because I think it'd be really beneficial for other listeners that might be in a similar situation that you're in. So till next time, love you guys. Catch you later.
Welcome to the chase where the champions dwell. To the grind, to the hustle, the pursuit of wealth. Every story, every journey, every climb from the shelf. Here's to the drive, to the fight, to pursue the wealth.